Hello everyone. So today I'll be explaining about Cascading Style Sheets 3 Advanced CSS3 features. So CSS3, firstly what is CSS3? So CSS3 or Cascading Style Sheets Level 3 is the latest version of Cascading Style Sheets language used to describe the presentation of web documents including HTML and XML. CSS3 is an evolution of CSS2 and offers a wide range of new features and enhancements that make it more powerful and versatile for web design and layout. It is supported by almost all modern web browsers like Google, Firefox, Safari, Opera, etc. Now what are CSS3 features? So now we will be seeing what are the CSS3 features. So we have new selectors, rounded corners, 2D and 3D transformations, gradients and shadow effect, transitions and animations, setting opacity, flexbox, multi-column layout, media queries, compatibility, word wrapping, and font flexibility. So firstly, coming to expanded color options and gradient effects. So CSS3 introduces an extended palette of colors and gradient effects that go beyond the limitations of traditional web-safe colors. This expansion is made possible through the introduction of new color formats such as RGBA and HSLA, which offers greater flexibility in defining colors. In addition to the expanded color choices, CSS3 empowers web designers to incorporate stunning gradient effects into HTML elements, elevating the visual appeal of web pages. With advanced CSS3 gradient capabilities, developers can seamlessly integrate multiple color transitions within a gradient, thereby enhancing the richness and adaptability of gradient effects. Next up we have rounded corners. So in previous CSS versions, achieving rounded corners for images and elements presented a significant challenge. However, CSS3 introduced the border radius property, which revolutionized the process, making it incredibly straightforward. Now we can effortlessly create more visually appealing HTML components by setting a border radius value greater than 0. For instance, by specifying a value like 12 pixel, like here we have specified, we can achieve rounded corners with ease. Then coming to 2D and 3D transformations for shapes and texts. So CSS3 offers a range of 2D and 3D transformation functions, providing web designers with powerful tools to create interactive and visually striking web designs. These functions include, for like 2D transformations, we have firstly rotate. Rotate elements clockwise or counterclockwise around the z-axis. This is what the rotate function does. Next we have scale. So it resizes the HTML elements on a 2D plane. Next up we have skew. So it applies shear transformations to elements at specific angles. Next we have translate. So it basically what happens here is reposition of elements along the horizontal or vertical direction. The next thing that we have is shadow effect. So CSS3 introduces the versatile box shadow property, allowing web designers to add shadows to text and shapes, which in turn adds depth and dimension to elements. With box shadow, you can specify several parameters, including horizontal and vertical offsets, blur amount, shadow color, shadow spread, and even create inset shadows. This feature significantly enhances the visual appeal of web pages. So we have an example here, which is we have set the box shadow to 1.5 pixels. Next up we have transitions and animations, smooth and dynamic visual effects. So CSS3 transitions and animations are advanced styling features for web developers. Transitions. What are transitions? They create gradual changes in CSS properties, providing smooth transitions between states. Now coming to animations, so these are more complex. allowing developers to specify keyframes to target CSS property values at specific timestamps, enabling intricate and dynamic effects. Both are used to make web pages interactive and visually engaging. Next, we have setting opacity. So, by employing RGBA colors, CSS3 introduces the opacity property, which enables the adjustment of an HTML element's transparency. This eliminates the need to edit images separately for opacity and then incorporate them into the HTML file. Instead, we can achieve the desired opacity effect with a concise line of CSS code, and which is this, opacity: 0.7. Next, coming to the Flexbox, which is a powerful layout, which provides powerful layout capabilities for responsive design. So, CSS3's Flexbox property is a versatile tool for creating responsive layouts. Its key features include flexible container, so the container adjusts to available space. Then flexible items, so items can be positioned as needed. Coming to alignment, so options for centering, spacing, or wrapping items. Responsive design, which basically adapts layouts to different screen sizes. Direction control, to easily switch between column and row layouts. Next, we have multi-column layout. So the CSS3 multi-column layout property is like a tool for arranging content in a newspaper or magazine style. It automatically flows your content into columns based on the space available. You can also control the width of the columns, how many columns there are, the gaps between them, and more. This makes your content look better and easier to read, just like in a professional publication. So here I have an example for that, which is basically a newspaper. Next we have word wrapping. So CSS3's word wrapping feature is a useful tool for developers to handle long words that exceed the container's width. It provides two values for the word wrap property, normal and break word. The normal value allows long words to extend beyond the container's width. The break word value, as demonstrated in the example below, breaks long words and wraps them to a single line when they reach the container's edge. Then we have font flexibility. So CSS3 introduces font flexibility, empowering precise control over text appearance by specifying font styles and custom variations through the font stretch property. Then coming to compatibility, for cross-platform support and vendor prefixes, so CSS3 features are broadly supported, but for older browsers, developers use vendor prefixes to ensure cross-platform consistency in web page appearance. Thank you.